Rarities divide each brawler based off their different gameplay and mechanics. The lower rarities are very easy to play, while the higher rarities house some of the most complex and mechanically complicated brawlers in the game. But in this video, I'm going to be going over the easiest and the hardest brawlers to play in every rarity. This video is highly subjective and one brawler might be no skill or high skill depending on the player. But we can all agree that Shelly is the easiest starting brawler to play. Her playstyle is very basic and easy to master, and she counters so many brawlers with her super. She definitely needs a nerf. Believe it or not, the hardest starting brawler to play is actually Shelly. As a close range damage dealer, it's pretty hard to approach enemies and it requires good aim to use her clay pigeons gadgets. In terms of skill, the rare brawlers are pretty tedious to master overall. Their simple playstyles and mechanics are very predictable and they require a proper understanding of their abilities to use efficiently. But the easiest brawler to play in this rarity would have to be Poco. Poco actually doesn't take a lot of skill. His wide range attacks make it hard to miss and his playstyle doesn't require him to be a hard carry in game. He isn't everyone's cup of tea, but he's very easy to play. The hardest rare brawler to play would probably be Bull. Most players would say Colt is hard to master, but that's only because of his high skill floor, which is the amount of skill needed to start playing a brawler well. Bull has three main factors when it comes to his high skill. Not only is he not in the current meta, his playstyle can easily be countered and you need to know what you're doing in order to get value out of his super. In other words, he has a pretty high skill ceiling, which is the amount of skill needed to actually master a brawler. The super rare brawlers aren't too different from the rare brawlers in terms of skill. They have a lot more fleshed out abilities, but they're a walk in the park once you know what you're doing. But for the easiest super rare brawler to play, I'd have to give it to Tick. The only issues Tick has is the amount of brawlers that counter him and the right map for his playstyle. Besides that, he's very easy to play, so easy that he gets pretty boring, but he does have a lot of counters, so it balances things out. I'd even say he takes less skill than Jackie, who doesn't even require aim. For the hardest super rare brawler to play, I'd give it to 8-bit. His slow but high damage playstyle can be a huge turn off to beginners, which gives him a decently high skill floor with a pretty high skill ceiling. Being the slowest brawler in the game, his main issues are dodging attacks and dealing with his slow unload and reload speed while aiming. Although he's pretty decent in the meta and he's one of my favorite brawlers to play. The epic brawlers are the benchmark for complex playstyles and mechanics. Anything more simple than these guys would result in a rare or super rare brawler, which we haven't had in years. Additionally, there are a lot of these guys and a decent amount of them fall into the category of skill or no skill, with rarely any in-betweens. But the easiest epic brawler to play would have to be Edgar. Now I'll admit, he does have a pretty high skill ceiling and learning how to waste enemy ammo and attacking at the right time does take skill. But the skill floor of this brawler is quite literally underground. He's so easy to pick up and play that he's given to new players when they log in. He does get countered a lot, but that's only a side effect to how easy he is to play. There are a lot of brawlers to choose from when talking about the most skilled brawler in this rarity, and it simply boils down to personal preference. But in my opinion, it's really between Sam and Stu. Both of them have ridiculously high skill floors and ceilings, but Sam has a bit more counters, making him harder to play. In Stu's case, his playstyle demands low delay, but Stu is at the top of the meta while Sam is at the bottom. Still, I know I'd get a bit of hate, but I'll give it to Sam, mainly because it's a lot harder to play him right now and his hypercharge isn't as OP as Stu's. The mythic brawlers start to get more complex, but they're usually a lot easier to play. There are a lot of them, so it won't be very easy to pick out the easiest brawler to play. I'd say Fang is the easiest mythic brawler to play, but that's really up for debate. He's fast, charges his super quickly, has a short and long ranged option, and his hypercharge is very easy to use as it passes through walls. He doesn't have the lowest skill floor, but he can be played pretty well without a lot of practice. For the hardest brawler to play in this rarity, I'd give it to Gray. Gray is probably one of the hardest marksmen to play, being a mix of support, long range, and assassinations. He's not the easiest brawler to pick up, but with enough training, you can get the hang of it. Now let's be real for a second. All the legendary brawlers take mid to no skill, and they're all pretty easy to play. But the easiest and most annoying brawler in this rarity would have to be Surge. Yes, Surge takes less skill than Kit, and Kit actually needs proper team play in order to use him in 3v3s. Surge practically takes no skill, and the only amount of skill you'd ever need while playing this brawler is trying not to die. He has a build for practically every game mode and he gets his super in 3 hits. If that isn't brain dead, then I don't know what is. And I'm glad he's not too high in the meta right now. For the most skilled legendary brawler, I genuinely don't know who to pick, and they're all really easy to play. So let me know who should be the most skilled legendary brawler in the comments below. For the ultra legendary rarity, I'd say Kaze's geisha form takes a lot more skill than her ninja form. It has the strangest attack in the game and is simply a lot less powerful than her ninja form, and it'll obviously take a lot of skill to get used to. Surge was also a chromatic brawler, so I'd say he's the easiest brawler to play in this category. And depending on how you look at it, the most skilled chromatic brawler would be between RT and Sam. RT's main attack is quite difficult to hit, being a lot smaller than most projectiles, but I'll still give it to Sam for basically the exact same reasons as I mentioned earlier. The Trophy Road Brawlers are part of a removed rarity that made Brawlers accessible through the Trophy Road. The easiest Brawler to play in this category would be Tick, while the hardest Brawler to play would be Stu. Anyways, those were the easiest and hardest Brawlers to play from every rarity. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.